So you guys, I have a very special guest today. As you know, it's been one of my life dreams, goals, journeys to not be on this journey alone, right? So I've recruited tons of docs, chiropractors, acupuncturists, spiritual healers, neuroimmunologists to walk on this journey with me. But the place that I find myself very lonely is as a nutritional coach. As I'm helping clients, as my clinics are booked to its fullest capacity, I just don't have the time or the space or the bandwidth at all to help the hundreds of thousands of people that need help. And so one of my life missions was to create a coaching certificate program, a certification program, where I could neurotically and diligently work with individuals that wanted and had the same passion I did to change lives and use food as medicine. So I have a super important guest today. I have one of our very top coaches here with me today, Christina. Christina, nice to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
It's super exciting. We have been working diligently on the principles of the fast metabolism diet, Christina together. Christina is a certified coach. But, you know, with all of our coaches, there's definitely a unique niche. And so, Christina, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your personal journey of becoming an FMD coach.
Yeah, so I actually was a CFO for hospitals, for critical access hospitals. I actually worked in the hospital space pretty much my whole entire career. So I guess healthcare wasn't that far away. So nutrition coaching kind of falls into that. But with that, it's a high stress job. And I got unhealthy and I got heavier than I want it to be. But I have some health issues because I have situs inversus totalis, which means all my organs are backwards, which causes me problems with my respiratory.
One second. I want you to say that one more time for our community, because that was so fascinating to me. So, and I don't want to just kind of blow through that. So I always share about my health journey, right? That made being healthy, staying healthy, working diligently on my health as the forefront, right, of the life that I currently live. So tell us a little bit about what you just said. Is a big, long, juicy word.
Yeah, the medical term is situs inversus totalis, which actually just means all my organs are backwards. Well, with that, my bronchioles are also backwards. So what happens, like if I get a cold, for most normal people, they're going to get over it. For me, it just pulls in my lungs, which causes me a lot of problems with breathing and oxygen and those kinds of things. So when COVID came out, actually, it was really scary because obviously it hits your respiratory. But between all that, when I have an episode, that's what we'll call them. I can't exercise because I don't have the oxygen to do it. And that can go on for about 6 months. I would say an episode where I'm on really high doses steroids. The last time I was on 80 milligrams of steroids, that will give you an idea of my steroid.
Yeah. So 1 second, guys, I just want to mention that a lot of times in the diet space, so many people will say to us, just exercise more, eat less and exercise more, right? Or that it's just what you're eating. But like myself, I was on 60 to 80 milligrams of prednisone a day. They would rotate me, Joy. And when I was in full flare from an autoimmune perspective, I couldn't just eat less and exercise more. And so I really had to focus on healing the metabolism. And I know that that's what brought you to this journey as well. So when you're on 90 or 60 or 80 milligrams of prednisone and you have limited lung capacity, how does that feel when someone tells you, oh, all you need to do is eat less and exercise more?
Terrible. I mean, there's nothing you can't it's a vicious cycle and it's a vicious battle. So actually, when I had COVID, my CEO of the hospital sent me to have an infusion because they wanted me concerned and wanted me back in the workforce, right? I actually had the nurse in the ER room that day watching my blood pressure, which I knew my blood pressure was high. It had been every doctor visit for a long time. He said, what do you do for a living? And I told him, and he said, do you want to live long? And I said, well, of course. And he said, you might want to change your job career. Honestly, that really got me thinking. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I'm like, my health I knew was in decline and it was concerning to me. And then when I hit mid-40, I started gaining a lot of weight. I'm not a very big person. And that really bothered me. And I actually went to my doctor a couple of different times going, what's going on? And she's like, oh, you're in perimenopause and, hormone imbalance is going on here. And really, she's like, you just need to work on your diet. And I'm like, that's it. Okay.
So Christine, I want to just take a little step back for a second, because I don't know if you know how many similarities we actually have. I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I was well on my way to vet school, right? I was going to be in the veterinary space, and I was hit with my autoimmune disorder went into full flare, and I was hospitalized with a kidney infection and really, really sick. And one of the nurses said to me, what's your plans? And I said, I'm going to vet school. And she said, are you planning on living very long? And I just remember the smell, the taste, the feeling of being in that hospital bed. And she was like, and she actually introduced me to a holistic practitioner, someone that was more in the integrative medicine space that incorporated nutrition. And that was it. That changed my whole trajectory. And I have to tell you, the name, I don't know if you know this, because the name's changed. My very first clinic that I opened was New Horizons. I don't know if you know that. And your business, your business is Healthy Horizons.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. So how did you find the FMD specifically? How did you adopt healing your metabolism through nutrition?
Yeah. So the first time I was introduced to FMD was probably close to a decade ago. I actually had my hairdresser, believe it or not. I was trying to lose weight back then, and she introduced me. I read your whole book. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I decided to give it a try. And I was at my goal weight at that time. I felt great. But, I was a lot younger. And then this time around, I'll say last year, I seen your coaching program and it had my attention. And then this year, I was working for a big accounting firm. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do the program. And then I was like, I love it, Haylie. I loved it. And I'm like,
the coaching?
Yes. Just getting into it. And then, of course, I think it was the first part of June, I started back on FMD. And I will say I am down probably about 25 pounds right now. And I'm 4 pounds within my goal.
That's so exciting.
So that makes me feel really good. And I have the energy and I'm feeling better, and the stress. And guess what? My blood pressure is awesome. I did have my labs done in July, and they're also really good. So it just makes you feel good that because it is a health journey and we want to be around. And I have 3 kids. I have 3 grandkids, and I want to be there for them, and we want to be healthy. And I was not on a good path. I knew it. So I am giving this, I actually quit my full-time job, and I'm giving this my all.
That is great. And I know that that's a big leap for you. It's interesting for me because I have no, I'm like, yes, good job, amazing. Because there's so many people that need your help. I never realized, so I did the same thing. I quit vet school, right? I stopped and I thought, okay. And honestly, I would love to say it was for this. I did not want to be in human to human, any aspect of medicine. It was not, I'm much more comfortable with animals. I'm an awkward human being just by nature. I'm kind of goofy, kind of silly, kind of awkward.
The animals don't talk back.
Right. And so I had just yesterday, we had this big, huge meeting, and this gentleman was talking about, he had an aging dog, an elderly dog, and they actually had considered putting him to sleep 2 years ago. And I connected him with someone that could put him on amazing pet nutrition and amazing supplements, right? And he came, we had this big meeting, and he was in the meeting, and he says, oh, I forgot to tell you, my dog is 10 years younger. It looks amazing, and joint and blah, blah, blah. And I said, isn't that amazing how you're willing to change your nutrition and your supplementation in animals, but in the human space, it's begging someone sometimes to take care of themselves. I could go on a crazy tangent, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about you and you being a coach.
Yeah.
When I started practicing, I didn't know what my practice would look like or develop out to be. And it evolves all the time. This pandemic made it evolve, definitely. But do you have a niche? Are you looking do you seem to have a certain passion for people that are dealing with chronic disease, chronic illness, menopause? Is there something that just gets you really fired up because you feel like there's that need?
Yeah. So my biggest passion, I would say, is the hormonal imbalance in your perimenopause, menopause women. I am coaching I shouldn't say a lot of people, but people outside of that. But that's probably where my passion is, because I can relate to it, right? But
Right.
I also am coaching somebody that is struggling with mucus and stuff. And I can kind of relate to that because of my respiratory problems.
Right.
So that's kind of an interesting space. And I also have a father-in-law that has fatty liver disease.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's serious. I mean, he ended up almost dying last year. So
Wow.
all these things come into play of how important nutrition is. So, but that is, I would say, the hormonal imbalance, that belly fat that we get middle age, because I know that was bugging me. And I can honestly say my belly is almost back to where it should be, but it has been a lot of work.
And
And that's what I want people to know. You can be that, because I hear all the time, I look okay for my age. Well, why do we have to say that? We can look how we want to look at any age. That's
right. Right. So let me ask you, give me like some tips that you would tell somebody. So you've been through probably most extensive programs, right? You've taken a ton of courses with us. What kinds of tips and takeaway got your 25 pounds off that you can't wait to share with everybody else?
Yeah, I think, Haylie, a lot of it for me was switching it up, not just sticking to one program, but switching them. So doing the FMD, and then I did the Revolution, and the Revolution after doing that was awesome. But I also did the H-Burn. And then I also took your Power Food list for hormones and incorporated as many foods as I could.
Yes.
Knowing that I could do that. So it was all those things. And so I did like your supplements too.
So that's what we do, like in a clinical setting, right? In my office. So when I set out to write a book, and I didn't set out to write a book, I would feel like I was forced. Thank you, Mason Novick. I always try to give him a hard time for that. I was no desire, I'm dyslexic. So it was a panic every moment. But one of the things that marketing people told me a lot was do one program and spend a ton of money and market it. And I just was like horrified because I thought we're such biodiverse, biodynamic people. And even in our lifetimes, the significant changes that happen through pregnancy, through menopause, through a fracture. We had a client that fractured her femur and her metabolism completely shifted. Individuals that go on medication like prednisone, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, antidepressants, all of these things can affect the metabolic pathways. And so minimally, if I were forced to define the amount of programs that our coaches are trained, you have minimally 17, and that's not all the variations on the theme, 17 programs that you can knit together for individuals to help heal their metabolism. And I know you just mentioned 3 or 4 of them. But I just want to reiterate one more time how important that is, that your coach, that you have coaching that can help you lay out what's right for your body at that moment in the time, as well as we are biodynamic, right? So we aren't just a lung. We've adopted systems biology in Western medicine a lot, not holistic, whole body medicine. But nutrition is whole body, period. And so sometimes we want to put micronutrients in a high level to evoke a change. And so, like you said, kind of that evoking the change by changing plans is really important. When you work with a client specifically, do you go through kind of what their world is like, what they're dealing with, or do you have a generic plan that you adopt for everybody?
No, I go through what they're going through because everyone's so different. It's individual. I listen to them. I can pick up on cues by just listening to them. Like, how's their stress level? What are they going through? How busy are they? A really busy person, it might be harder to prepare foods and take that time. So I do listen, and then I try to give pointers. I have a couple of clients that text me every day to help them keep on, accountable and ask questions along the way. It might be, I'm in a restaurant, I'm freaking out. What do I eat? And I try to help with those kinds of things too.
That's great. So when we do a lot of our coach training, we talk about meeting people where they are. We do whole sessions. And I love that you're adopting that of how to use technology, texting, the app. We've shared, we have clients that, we're their commute in and out of work, right? We do our coaching while they're driving, and we take all the notes and send them the meal map and make them the grocery list. So if there's somebody out there right now that's kind of struggling to heal their metabolism, they've hit a plateau, or maybe even so I've used a coach for, how old are my kids? Don't you always date it by your kids? I've used a coach every other to every week for 25 years. Not funny. It's just because I have to stay healthy. It's not an option, right? So it's something that I've just kind of put into my, like my budget. Like I figure I'm, getting my labs run regularly. I'm exercising regularly. I'm investing in my groceries, and my coaching is something that I have diligently invested in. What would you say to somebody that wants to come see you? Like, why would they come? I know why I come see you as a coach, but tell all of our listeners, like, talk from your heart, what are you hoping to help people with?
Well, the biggest thing is just making them feel healthier, transforming them, making them feel good, because it's not always about the weight scale, even though that's nice. It is about feeling better about yourself, and being healthier is just going to help you live longer. But having that energy to do things that maybe you haven't been able to do as well, but your skin feels better, your hair, it's your whole body. But it's not just mentally, I think it helps you have the right person, and I think that's important, especially, everybody has experienced brain fog or issues, and some of that's related to COVID, right? So I want people to know they're not alone. And the nice thing about coaching that I can already tell is that they also help me keep accountable, and they don't even know it, because I'm talking with them every day, and I'm like, right, and what am I doing about my health every day? Because you share, right? So that's kind of been fun.
It's nice. I know it sounds so silly, but I always say, like, it's helped me not feel alone in my health journey, right? And also, like, I come up with these like crazy tips for them, and I'm like, I'm going to do that too. Don't you notice that? You're like, yeah, I forgot. That's right. Let's be diligent drinking our water together today. Let's test our pH together this week. I lead into our community hard and heavy, and I love it. Yeah, Christina, you said something to me, and I want to just punctuate that. Oftentimes people ask me a lot about how much energy I have, or all the things that I do. I have like deep passion that drives me, for sure. So much passion that I easily could burn myself out physically. And people ask me about burnout a lot. I'm gonna knock on my head. I work so hard on my nutrition and my supplementation that gives me those micronutrients to have the life force that I do. And I think the biggest gift that I watch I'm just going to self-reflect watching your clients' success stories, is that you're giving them that life force through your advice, through your suggestions, but really through your life experience. There's such an added aspect that you add as a coach because of what you've been through. And I know your clients do well because, I wrote the program. It's a great program. You've had exceptional training. I want to tell you that your clients do better because of you. And I want you to know that. We witness it, we see it, and it's just really cool. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast today, to really feature what a special person you are in so many people's lives. It's kind of worthy work, isn't it?
It definitely is. It makes you feel good. This is something like I just told my husband, I said, I'm so glad I have a wonderful husband that's backing me, because a lot of people can feel this. Like, I know I've had people say, what are you doing? Like, you just quit a career that you worked so hard for to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but this I'm passionate about. And passion means more than money at times. But yeah, I'm a little scared too. Because I have a whole business to build. I need to find those clients, and it is scary, but I do have a few. And I know one of them just posted on your Haylie Pomroy support page, and that was wonderful. And I thought her post is great. So, and it will grow. I know, just one person at a time, one girl at a time. So
super funny. I kind of the same thing, went out on this crazy limb, right? And it's so hard to get into vet school, and it's so hard to, have that academic pathway that you've worked on since you were in kindergarten, it sounds like, and just completely make a pivot. That's why I said we have so much synergy. And I never knew, I again, had no intention. I did not have a plan to write books, let alone 7, right? But it was my clients that thrusted me out in front of the world. And I'm watching that happen with you. Like I saw that post, we were all talking about it as a team. We're like, oh, here she goes. Like you're not going to get to be the best kept secret. So if anybody wants to come see you, all the people that are going to watch this that want to come see you, how do they contact you? How do they get an appointment with you?
Yeah, so I do most of my work remote. I live in Montana if anyone wants to come see me. It's beautiful country here. I'm very outdoorsy, so we can maybe go on a hike together. But yeah, so to get a hold of me, my website's healthyhorizonscoach.net. And my phone number, I'm going to actually give this out, is 406-422-3212.
So Christina, would it be better if they texted you and said, hey, I'd like to make an appointment, or hey, can I get some pricing?
Yes, texting would be my preference, especially with time differences. So that way I can get back to them. And also if I'm with another client, texting works better. Okay.
So Christina just gave out her phone number. So you're crazy, but I love it. I'll give out mine too. No, I'm just kidding. But you guys text Christina, get scheduled on her schedule. Christina has taken our most advanced courses. She's regularly meeting with me in our advanced clinicals and our Q&A sessions. Most of the time, our coaches bring their cases into our coaching session when they get stuck or if they need ideas. You know, we have this amazing alumni group that I'm part of. These are my colleagues that we all get to bounce things around. Christina, tell us your phone number one more time. You guys text her. She doesn't know what she's in for yet. Don't call her. I'm gonna be big mama here. Text her, don't call her, but text her and get an appointment scheduled. It will change your life. Your body deserves this. You need this. Healing the metabolism will give you the energy, the abundance, the libido, all of these things that Christina and I can share, that we have been through major, major health crises. If your metabolism is stagnant or slow, please know it's not your fault. The food you're being fed, the air you're breathing, the water you're drinking, the stress that you're under is working against you losing weight and being healthy. It is working very aggressively against you. So grab a coach, have an ally, have somebody that can help be in your corner, be strategic with you, right? With your body specifically. So Christina, I want you to give your phone number one more time. You guys text her, don't call her.
Yeah, please text. And it's their full text, which is Montana's area code 406-422-3212. Okay.
And Christina, I'm going to show you how to do an auto reply too, in case you get a bajillion text messages from this. You tell me your website one more time.
healthyhorizonscoach.net.
Will you spell that for me?
Healthy Horizons.
Yep.
HEALTHY. So healthy and horizons, HORIZONS, coach, COACH.net.
Okay, great. Okay, Christina's also got all her social media, her Facebook. I love you on TikTok, by the way. I just dig on it. She's a female angler like myself. So you guys, we'll put all her contact on here. You can follow her, you can watch her, but most importantly, text her and get on her schedule. It's critical that like I said, I use a coach. I will always use a coach. It's not going to not happen because my health has afforded me to be able to help hundreds of thousands, millions, I should say, at this point, of individuals on their health journey. Christina, it is such an honor to call you a colleague. I have just been so privileged to watch you go through the courses with such diligence and just like an aggressive desire to grasp data. And I love it. And I love it. I love it for you. I love it for your health, but I really love it for the people whose lives you're about to change. So thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This has just been an amazing journey. I am so glad I signed up for that first course.
It's great. It's great. And we upwards and onwards, we've got lots of work to do together. I will talk to you soon, and I will see you soon on our next sessions. All right. Yeah. You guys get your appointment scheduled. She's going to be booked. Talk to you soon. Bye, Christina.
Bye.